Hey everybody, this is Coach Allison back with Defy Aging, and this week we are going over week 43. And this week we're going to change it up to be a at your own pace type of routine. So it will be at your own pace in your own space, and we're doing an AMRAP, which stands for as many rounds as possible. However, I don't want you to think of that as kind of a race, and there's no right or wrong amount of sets to get through. So don't push yourself and go too fast, making things maybe poor form. So keep that in mind. But it is as many rounds as you are able to get in within the time frame. And we're going to set 25 minutes on the clock and do this routine for the full 25 minutes. Okay. And there are there's six different things. So let's get right to those demonstrations. All right, the first one is going to be a core focus. So it's a single leg raise plus a reach. Yeah, it's not really a fancy name for that one. Pretty much exactly what it is. So on the floor. So with this one, it's very similar to our starfish, for those of you who know our starfish exercise. However, we're doing one side at a time. And what we're going to do is bend the other knee, and that's going to give you a little added stability and support, especially for the back. And you can put this other arm wherever you kind of want it, wherever it's comfortable. So we're focusing on one arm and the opposite leg, and we're lifting and trying to touch that leg as far down as you can. So if you can get your shin, your ankle, your actual toes, your foot, great, whatever you can reach. Notice how I'm going to show you from this side. I am lifting my head and my shoulder off the floor. That's very important to get the full effect of kind of a crunch, like an abdominal crunch. Okay? And you are kind of going kitty corner. So you are trying to, go at an angle, reaching over for that foot. So as for those of you who do know the starfish exercise, you can probably see the parallels there. That's going to be 12 each side. And I did forget to say in the intro, everything is 12. So the only number you have to remember is 12. Some things are 12 total and some are 12 each side, but 12 is the only rep count we have to worry about. Anyone not getting on the floor, we're going to do a standing kind of hand to knee. So we start like this. This is the same alternative that we do have for the starfish exercise. Arms out, legs out, and we bring that knee up as high as you can. Because that, the higher you get the knee, the more you're kind of using those lower abdominals to kind of lift the knee up. I'm going to leave it up to you. If you alternating just feels a little more natural, in my opinion. If you would prefer to continue doing all 12 on one side and then all 12 on the other side, that's fine, because the folks on the floor are doing single-sided. However, that doesn't matter to me. But if you are alternating, it is still 12 each side, so it'll be 24 total. All right, exercise 2. Most of us will already be on the floor. You can stay on the floor, just flip over. We're going to do a variation of Superman, which is what I have called the seal. So it reminds me of like a seal trying to walk on land. That's the only reason I came up with that name. But most of you know regular Superman arms are out. For this variety, we're going to have the arms back like this, palms on the floor. And everything else is the same as a Superman. We're still lifting the torso off the floor, still lifting the legs off the floor. The reason I like this variation, just for the variety, is it focuses more on maybe the mid back and upper back, a little less on shoulders, whereas regular Superman gets a lot of shoulder, which is great, but for variety this week. So when you're lifting here, I want you to pretend someone is behind you, like pulling your arms, like actually like pulling your arm back. That's going to help you get a better squeeze in that mid to upper back. Keep the neck neutral, so keep your gaze down, so don't look up like this. Okay, always keep the nose pointing downward. And there we go. And as with any Superman modification, we're going to have the alternative be an incline bird dog, because that does target very similar muscle groups. So hands on an incline, soft bend in your knees, just very subtle, just so we're not locking the knees out. And then we do that controlled bird dog. Okay, so 12 of the seal or 12 total of this, whatever variety you are doing for that. And that is exercise 2. Next up, we have some dumbbells. We're going to do a curl press. So it's biceps and shoulders. Our biceps tend to be a little bit stronger than our shoulders on average for most people. So select the dumbbell, the weight that would be more appropriate for your shoulders. So more appropriate for this exercise. Because if we choose something that's maybe heavy enough for a curl, but then we get to the press and we're like, oh shoot, that's too heavy for my press, then we're kind of, we're not doing so hot there. So pick the weight that you would comfortably do shoulder presses, well, comfortably with a small challenge, of course. But the curl press is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to do a bicep curl, and then we go and do a press. I know for some people, like what's happening with the hands can get a little tricksy. Try not to overthink it. It should happen kind of automatically, because when you do a bicep curl, this is the top position of a curl. And then if you do a normal shoulder press, I'll start from scratch with a shoulder press. This is the top position of a press. So the only thing we have to do is kind of do a rotation there to come out of the curl position and into the shoulder press position. So have it be nice and fluid, meaning what I mean by that is we're not just kind of like, doing all one movement. Bicep curl, shoulder press, they kind of flow together nice and smooth. So I hope that made sense to everybody. Again, don't overthink. If we overthink like, oh, when am I supposed to turn the hands? And it doesn't have to be that clinical, that cut and dry. It's nice and smooth. Just kind of let those palms slowly rotate. Don't overthink it. Can't say that enough. That's our curl press. Next one is a reverse lunge. I know we've been doing a lot of lunges lately. Reverse lunge to a squat. This one, the coordination can get maybe a little tricksy as well. And we have to also keep in mind, like if we're on the right side or the left side for each rep. And I'll show you what this looks like so you know what I mean by any of that. Reverse lunges, big step back, you do your lunge. We come up and we do one squat. And that's one rep. Okay, then we do the lunge with the other side. Left leg back, up, squat. That's 2. Other leg. Into our lunge, back, squat. That's 3. So the tricky thing here, besides lunges are just tricky in general, but one thing, when we come up from a lunge normally, we kind of come up probably with feet pretty close together, right? But with these, we have to come up from that lunge and then have the feet already ready in their squat position. So I'm going to lunge, and now I'm going to come up, and instead of putting my foot here, I'm actually going to step kind of wide, so I'm ready for my squat. Same thing now on this side. Going to step kind of a little wider than normal. So that's what you got to keep remembering, is to bring that foot up into that wide position instead of right next to the other foot. We went over it. We did reverse lunges last week, so hopefully all those cues, I don't want to spend too much time on this one exercise. So all those cues with the lunges, big step back. You have to bend both knees, not just the front knee. Don't allow that back foot to turn out. Those look at the biggies, but your coach will review the form with you as well. So 12 total of those, 6 each leg. And that's, I think exercise, we're on 4. Yeah, that's exercise 4. All right, then we are back onto the floor. This one is a single-sided. We're only gonna do one side at a time. Dumbbell dead bug. We haven't done dead bug in a while in and of itself. But so we have a dumbbell in one hand, and you get that dumbbell into a chest press position, the top, and we leave it there. So that's a lot of stability, just keeping this weight here, because it's going to want to, maybe shift around a little. So stabilize this arm, lock it in place. And then the single-sided dead bug we're going to straighten out that opposite side leg. So again, we want this leg staying bent for support. And we bring that knee in and out. And I'm going to challenge you, watch my leg that's moving. I'm going to challenge you not to put the leg down between each rep. So see, right now I'm resting that leg on the floor. See that? And now I'm going to I'm going to get it close, but I'm extending and bending it in. So that's what I would challenge you to do. So that keeps the tension and keeps the work even in the extended position. So that's my recommendation. And of course, I'll show you a couple on the other side if just the visual helps at all. So I'm extending and bringing in this leg, not letting it fully rest on the floor. Okay, So that is that. Choose a weight that's challenging here because remember, we're not doing actual presses. So you might be able to pick a pretty, maybe one weight up from normal from your chest press, and then we can really work on the stabilizing muscles involved in keeping that arm there. Now, anyone not getting onto the floor? I forgot what I. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do an overhead march in place again, single side. So it's kind of, I would say more like overhead high knee because we're not alternating with a march. So take your dumbbell, same thing. We're gonna press it up and lock it in place. Okay, and we're gonna do a high knee with that opposite side. So this is actually very similar to the floor exercise mechanically and visually. It's kind of really similar, and of course the muscles we're working. All right, that one can be a little complicated because the right side and the left side, which leg do I bend, which leg do I straighten? So your coach will help you with that, and that's our dumbbell dead bug. Okay, exercise 6 is going to be a little bit different. We're going to utilize some of the cardio equipment in the gym, and everyone will be at a different, should be at a different time with when they get to exercise 6 or station 6, whatever, because everyone just does their stuff at their own speed. So some people might go faster or some people might go slower. So I don't think everyone in your session will need the equipment at the exact same time. That said, we could also go in the other order. If you have a really big session, maybe 10 or 12 people, some people can start at the top of the list, and then some people can start where I'm going to, this number 6, and then reason being, for your 6th exercise, you're going to pick a treadmill or an elliptical, one of those two, and we're going to go to a 0.10 of a mile. So that really doesn't take too terribly long. Go as fast as you are able to go. Elliptical, I'd recommend putting the resistance up a little. It starts at a default of 1, but that's pretty smooth and simple. I would recommend putting it up to a 3, 4, or 5. Treadmill, just walk as fast as you can, but 0.10 for the distance. I'm guessing 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 3 to 4. Yeah. Or if you're a runner and you want to run it, great, you'll get that done really fast. But like I said, if there's an issue with equipment and how many people are in your session, have some people will start at this station at exercise 6 and they will work up the list. Some people will start with exercise 1 and work down. I think that's a good way to make sure we have enough equipment for everybody. All right, but that is exercise 6 and final one. And then our team builder. This one's going to be super fun. We've done it once before in the past, I think, popcorn jump squats. So it's going to utilize listening to cues from your coach, reaction time in listening to those cues. It's going to work an isometric movement. Isometric just means a holding position like a plank or a wall sit. And it's going to work plyometrics, explosiveness, because we are going to be tossing in some jump squats. So it's got a lot of things, benefits working here. Everyone, I suggest a circle, which is more fun. Everyone's going to hold an isometric squat. So that is not using your hands here. So there are no hands allowed for an isometric squat because I could sit like this all day, right? So you go into like you would do normal squats, but we hold it at the bottom. Your coach is going to call out jump. When they call out jump, we do one jump squat and you come right back down. Hold it. Your coach will call out jump again. And you get it. Your coach might say jump, 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 and they're continual. They might make you hold it, the isometric hold for 20 full seconds. That's completely up to your coach and how they want to surprise you. But you got to listen for that cue so you know when to jump. Anyone not doing impact, so not doing jumps for maybe some restriction in that area, you're going to still do the coming up part, but go into a heel raise. So it would look like this. Your coach will say jump, it'll lift those heels, come right back down and hold it. Lift those heels. So you're kind of getting a calf raise, getting a little bit of a boost up, but we're taking out that impact. Okay, this will be super fun. We're going to do 30 or 60 seconds, whatever your coach, whatever you have time for, maybe 2 30-second sets so you don't have to hold too many isometric squats. But this one's going to be a lot of fun. You're really going to feel your legs. All right, folks, that's week 43. I hope you enjoy this AMRAP routine. See you back next week.